This is a series of 100 films about Japanese foods that I've eaten, and this is a film about the cuisine that Japanese people love to eat, even though they can't pronounce it. Japan and France have a relationship going back centuries. Today, though, the relationship is primarily between Japanese women who think that French culture is the ultimate expression of fashion. So when they go over there, when they book their flight, they have no idea what France is actually like or what French people are like because they've never, ever met one. They go to Paris expecting it to be this capital of fashion, and they find out that what they had envisioned was really only a 2-block area for 10 days every year during Paris Fashion Week. Moskoshi. The reality is probably not that bad to most people from Canada or America, but to Japanese people, especially women, it can be a little bit devastating. Another thing that's important to know about Japan's relationship with France is that very few Japanese people speak French. Sure, most people from Britain and Canada and other European countries like Spain and Italy and Germany speak French. Americans not so much, but generally speaking, there are a lot of places where French is easily the second language. 30% of its vocabulary is the same as in English. And despite some irritating grammar, it's pretty easy to learn. Unfortunately, Japanese people have a terrible time pronouncing languages where syllables don't end with a vowel. And many French sounds are difficult for Japanese speakers. They have almost no exposure to French phonetics as children. Moskoshi. The other thing you should know about Japan's relationship with France is that they love French food. America brought them the hamburger. France brought them refinement. Tokyo, for example, has more Michelin stars than Paris. And if you don't know much about anything except for cars, you know that Michelin makes tires, hence the Michelin Man. And the guidebook was invented because they wanted people to use their tires more. They realized, hey, let's give a restaurant review to this place in the middle of nowhere, so you'll have to drive very far and use up your tires. It was brilliant and became a culinary gold standard, especially in Europe. Except they came to Tokyo and they gave the city more Michelin stars than any other city in the world. And this caused an uproar. But it didn't cause an uproar in Europe because the negative response came from Japan. Why? Because many of the best restaurants in Japan are run by only 1 or 2 people and might not seat more than 5 or 6 customers. They're usually found in Ginza, which is a high-end shopping area of Tokyo, like West 57th Street in New York. And these restaurants, you can't just walk in off the street. You can only dine there if you're a member, almost like a private club. And you can only become a member with the recommendation of someone who already dines at the restaurant. And it's fantastically overpriced. Most likely the food is very, very tasty. The whole idea is to provide the best cuisine, the most intimate experience in a city where you're constantly crowded in with strangers. And these restaurants are popular with businessmen because you can wine and dine clients and be reassured that no one nefarious would be listening to your conversations. It was the chefs that run these exclusive establishments that got angry about the Michelin stars. They would never allow an ordinary food reviewer into their restaurants. So much for the Franco-Japanese relationship. Where can I get it? That's right, you guessed it, Aux Bacchanales in Ginza. The steak frites here is great. Big portions. You won't go hungry after this meal. And unlike those fancy places around the corner, you can get in. If you're new to Japan, you might want to start in Tokyo from Shinjuku since it's the busiest train station in the world. From the Shinjuku Tokyo Metro station, take the Marunochi Line in the Ikebukuro direction. Get off at Ginza Station. Go out the C3 exit. Turn south, away from the main road. Turn right immediately, then left, then right again at the next block. Aux Bacchanales is on your left. As always, keep in mind this information may be out of date by the time you're watching this. The word of the day. The word of the day is moskoshi. It means a little more. So if someone is pouring you a glass of French wine, just say moskoshi and they'll know exactly what you want. So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me, or at least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time when we learn how to get drunk on a date in Japan. So until then, sayonara.